10, chapter 47, chapters entitled The Song of the Bee, text number 54. The sound system is a little too loud. We're getting some feedback. Can you just check with Prabhuji? Yeah? Thank you so much. Okay, let's see the verse. Thank you. Uvāsa katicin māsān. Uvāsa katicin māsān. Gopīnām vinudan śucaḥ. Gopīnām vinudan śucaḥ. kṛṣṇa-līlā-kathāṁ gāyan. kṛṣṇa-līlā-kathāṁ gāyan. ramayām āsa gokulam. ramayām āsa gokulam. uvāsa katicin māsān. gopīnām vinudan śucaḥ. kṛṣṇa-līlā-kathāṁ gāyan. ramayām āsa gokulam. uvāsa katicin māsān. gopīnām vinudan śucaḥ. kṛṣṇa-līlā-kathāṁ gāyan. ramayām āsa gokulam. uvāsa katicin māsān. gopīnām vinudan śucaḥ. kṛṣṇa-līlā-kathāṁ gāyan. ramayām āsa gokulam. Please chant. Uvāsa katicin māsān. Gopīnām vinudan śucaḥ. kṛṣṇa-līlā-kathāṁ gāyan. ramayām āsa gokulam. uvāsa katicin māsān. gopīnām vinudan śucaḥ. kṛṣṇa-līlā-kathāṁ gāyan. ramayām āsa gokulam. uvāsa katicin māsān. gopīnām vinudan śucaḥ. kṛṣṇa-līlā-kathāṁ gāyan. ramayām āsa gokulam. Vaishnavis. Uvāsa katicin māsān. gopīnām vinudan śucaḥ. kṛṣṇa-līlā-kathāṁ gāyan. ramayām āsa gokulam. uvāsa katicin māsān. gopīnām vinudan śucaḥ. kṛṣṇa-līlā-kathāṁ gāyan. ramayām āsa gokulam. Uvāsa, he resided. Katicit, for some. Māsān, months. Gopīnām, of the cowherd girls. Vinudan, dispelling. śucaḥ, the unhappiness. Kṛṣṇa-līlā, of the pastimes of Lord Kṛṣṇa, kathām, the topics, gāyan, singing, ramayām, ācārya, he gave joy, gokulam, to Gokula. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace, Srila ācārya Vṛndāvana Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation: Uddhava remained there for several months, dispelling the gopis' sorrow by chanting the topics of Lord Krishna's pastimes. Thus he brought joy to all the people of Gokula. Purport: the great ācārya, Jīva Gosvāmī, comments in this regard that Uddhava, during his stay in Vṛndāvana, certainly took special care to enliven Krishna's foster parents, Nanda and Yaśodā. It's a very short purport. Uvāsa katicin māsān, gopīnām vinudan śucaḥ, kṛṣṇa-līlā-kathāṁ gāyan, ramayām asa gokulam. Om jnānatunandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshur unmilitam jena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya manobhishtam shtāpitam yena bhutale svayam rupa kadamayam dadati svapadantikam. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuddha Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitanscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vṛndāvaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. I'm very happy to be here today in Sri Vṛndāvana Dham. I'm happy to have all of your association. Before I begin speaking, I seek the blessings of all the devotees, especially our temple president, Panchagoda Prabhu, and Shruti Prabhu, and all devotees who have inspired me for so many years. Bhakti Prachar Parivrajak Maharaj, and so many wonderful devotees are here. My dear friend Avina Nirada Prabhu, who I've not seen for so long, and just so grateful to be here in the association of devotees. Thank you so much. Please give your blessings. Thank you. Hare Krishna. We're here reading today from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 47, which is entitled The Song of the Bee. And this chapter has 69 verses. So today we're at verse 47, so we're getting more towards the end of the chapter. And the essence of the topic today is that chanting the topics of Lord Krishna's pastimes dispels the sorrow and the fear and the pain of this world. And the world is just so filled with pain that we really are welcome to have any panacea and any help that we can get. Last night, the devotee I was staying with shared with me, my father was just in a car accident. His driver smashed into a 12-year-old child. He's in the hospital. He may die. You know, this kind of thing can happen to us any moment. And this morning, just now when I was studying for the class in my room, he said, more bad news. The driver of the car had a heart attack and died. And he has a 12-year-old girl and a 6-year-old boy, and he just died. So the world is just filled with so much pain. But we have a great fortune that by coming in contact with Krishna consciousness, specifically the topics of discussion, Hare Krishna Yadabar Prabhu, especially the topics of Krishna's Leelas, Krishna's pastimes, hearing the stories and the katha about Krishna, this brings a great joy to the heart and overcomes the feelings of sorrow. And when we get that joy, param dristvana vartate, we get a higher taste, we start to lose our craving to try to get pleasure out of this material world, which is so much infused with pain. The material world is just a pain machine. It's just designed to give us pain. If we see what kind of material pleasure is available here compared to the pain, it's so insignificant. Just like if you try to massage your little finger, you know, how much pleasure will you get from that? Very, very minimal. Oh, so nice. Not that nice. Okay, not bad. But if you smash your finger in a car door, blood all over the place. You know, so much pain is coming from there. So the material world is just a pain machine. But the Bhagavatam is a joy machine. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Nigamakāpataror galitam phalam Shukamukādamritadrava samyutam Pivata Bhagavatam rasamalayam Mohuraho rasikabu vibhavakaha. O expert and thoughtful men, relish Srimad Bhagavatam, the mature fruit of the desired tree of the Vedic literatures. It emanated from the lotus lips of Srila Shukadeva Gosvāmī. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful, although its nectarian juice was already relishable by all, including the liberated souls. Hare Krishna, Prithu Prabhu. Prithu Prabhu was one of the first Prabhupada disciples I ever spoke with. I was staying in a little flat in Cork, Ireland, with just a few Sankirtan devotees. They just invited me to stay with them. I still had my long hair and my trumpet. And the phone rang, and I picked it up. How can I serve you? I was getting trained up by the devotees. And it was Prithu Prabhu encouraging me in Krishna consciousness. So we're so fortunate to have all these great souls, stalwart followers of Srila Prabhupada, guiding us in Krishna consciousness. So, coming back to this wonderful topic of the joy machine of Srimad Bhagavatam. That Srimad Bhagavatam and the topics of Krishna just give so much pleasure, as Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita. Machchitta machgata prana bodhayantas parasparam katayantas cha mam nicham tushanti cha romanti cha. That the thoughts of my pure devotees are always in me, and their prana is always dedicated to me. Machchitta machgata prana bodhayantas parasparam katayantas cha mam nityam. They're always katayantas, their katha, their talks are about mam, about me. Nityam, eternally, they're always talking about me. And as a result, tushanti cha ramanti cha. They get great satisfaction and bliss. And Srila Prabhupada is so kind, he's given us this joy machine of Srimad Bhagavatam that gives us an opportunity to discuss about Krishna. And this morning program is so wonderful because every day we have Bhagavatam and we can speak and discuss about Krishna. Speaking and discussing about Krishna is a remedy, it's a medicine that helps us, it's a salve. That when you're burning if you get burned in a fire, if you apply a salve, it's cooling. So Bhagavatam is like that. It cools down this samsara dava nalalila loka, this burning fire of material existence. It's cooling. Tava katam ritam tapta jivanam kavirbir iditam kalmashapaham Shravana Mangalam Srimad-atatam Bhuvi Grinantiye Burhidha Janaha. That this Tava Katam Ritam, it's a Kata Amrit, it's a nectarian talk about Krishna. And to hear about it is so auspicious. Shravana Mangalam. Shravana means to hear, and Mangalam means auspicious. We hear the topics of Krishna, it's just so auspicious. And those who share these topics are burida, are greatly merciful. So the wonderful devotees of the Hare Krishna movement, Srila Prabhupada's followers, are so kind because they're spreading this message that has been given us by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada wanted devotees in the West or from everywhere, all over the world, to come to Sri Vṛndāvana. Haribo. Confirmed. Come to Sri Vṛndāvana and charge their batteries in the association of devotees, and then go back to their locations, their yatras, their places, and spread this Tava Katam Ritam, this merciful Amrit, nectarian talks of Lord Krishna in the mood of Buridha. One time devotees, they said, Srila Prabhupada, if we just told devotees to stay home 1 year, how much money we would save? Flight tickets, taxis, accommodations. If we saved our money by not coming to the holy dham, then we could build a big temple. And then Prabhupada said, yes, and if you all stopped eating, we'd save so much money and we could build a big temple. But it's not practical to stop eating. Prabhupada is making the point that we need the spiritual nourishment of coming here to Sri Vṛndāvana Dham and associating with devotees. One time, His Grace Ayendra Prabhu personally instructed me. He said, you have to come to Vṛndāvana and Kartik every year. He said, what, do you think you're so powerful you can overcome Maya? Deviyesha gunamayi mama maya jarataya mam eva ye prapadyante maya me tam tarantite. Maya is so strong, so we need to come and charge our batteries and get fired up so we can become Krishna conscious, so we can try to stay Krishna conscious, and so we can try to distribute and share Krishna consciousness to others. So in the purport today, the devotees mention the great ācārya Jīva Gosvāmī. So Jīva Gosvāmī is such an exalted Vaishnava, a great ācārya. And Jīva Gosvāmī was so fortunate that he was personally trained up by Srila Rupa Gosvāmī. And Rupa Gosvāmī is none other than Sri Rupa Manjari. So who could be so fortunate as to be trained up personally by Srila Rupa Manjari, Rupa Gosvāmī? And Rupa Gosvāmī personally carved the deities of Sri Sri Radha Damodar and offered them to Jīva Gosvāmī. So very exalted soul with great insights into the Bhakti Shastras. So in the purport today, which is actually a one-sentence purport, but even one sentence is just so pregnant. The great ācārya Jīva Gosvāmī comments in this regard that Uddhava, during his stay in Vṛndāvana, certainly took special care to enliven Krishna's foster parents, Nanda and Yaśodā. So Uddhava came to Vṛndāvana. So how did this happen? We go back to the previous chapter. The previous chapter, chapter 46, is entitled Uddhava Visits Vṛndāvana. And in the third chapter, the third verse of that chapter, I'll just read the translation. Krishna asks Uddhava, "Dear gentle Uddhava, go to Vraja and give pleasure to our parents." So this is the purport we're reading today. Jīva Gosvāmī is mentioning that Uddhava gave special attention to Nanda and Yaśodā. So this was Krishna's request. And also relieve the gopīs suffering in separation from me by giving them my message. So then Uddhava traveled to Vṛndāvana, and the residents of Vṛndāvana were amazed to see him. Which place did Uddhava go first when he reached Vṛndāvana? Does anyone remember? Yes? Panchagoda Prabhu? He went to Nanda Maharaj's house, Nanda Maharaj's palace, and he was there awake all night with Nanda Maharaj, discussing the topics of Krishna. And then in the morning, when the sun rose, the residents of Vṛndāvana came out of their homes to perform their morning duties, to take care of the cows. They were out for milking, and they saw a beautiful golden chariot. And they said, "Whose chariot is this?" And it was discovered that Uddhava had come, and then Uddhava took the opportunity to meet the other residents of Vraj, the Gopas and the Gopīs. And they were just so enchanted to meet Uddhava, because Uddhava was wearing Krishna's ornaments, and he was wearing Krishna's clothes, and he was just so beautiful. And they were just enchanted to have the opportunity to hear from him. So in today's verse, before today's verse, so they were amazed to see him, and when he met the gopis, they sang the song of the bee. One of the gopis. She was singing the song of the bee. And the bee, one gopi said, "Just as bees wander among various flowers. Sri Krishna has abandoned the young girls of Vraja and developed affection for other women. So they were lamenting that he's left us, the simple village girls. He's gone to Mathura. He's cultivating relationships with these fancy city women. But we can't stop remembering him. We're just fully absorbed in remembering him. There's no way we can stop. And this is the glory of the gopis. Krishna says in Gita, Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhya jimam namaskuru mameva shasi satyam te pratijane priyo sime. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, offer obeisances unto me. Surely you'll come to me. I'm telling you this because you're my very dear friend. So we've heard this, we've all heard this instruction, yes? But can we follow it? Most of it, at least speaking for myself, difficult to remember Krishna all the time. Despite Srila Prabhupada's wonderful instructions and the great opportunity given to us by Lord Chaitanya, Krishna Varnyam Tusha Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshidam Yagnai Sankirtana Prayerya Jantihi Sumeda Saha. Despite having this wonderful opportunity of constantly chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. Despite this wonderful opportunity, it's very difficult to constantly remember Krishna. But we have this great example of the gopis of Vṛndāvana who are constantly, fully absorbed in remembering Krishna. They just can't stop. And that brings us to today's verse, text number 47. No, sorry, 54. Chapter 47, text 54. Uvāsa katicin māsān, which means he stayed with us for months. How long did Uddhava stay with the residents of Vraj? Māsān, months. He didn't just anajana, sorry, I'm not supposed to speak Hindi. He didn't just come and go. He was there for months. Gopīnāṁ vinudan śucaḥ. What was he doing there? The gopis, vinudan means to dispel, and śucaḥ means their despair, their lamentation, their śucaḥ, their sorrow. He was dispelling their sorrow. How? kṛṣṇa-līlā-kathāṁ gāyan. He was the Krishna-līlā, the Leelas of Krishna. He was gāyan, he was chanting, he was singing. And as a result, ramayām asa gokulam. Ramayām means giving joy. He gave joy to the residents of gokulam, to the residents of Gokula. So he stayed for months, he chanted Krishna-līlā, he destroyed lamentation, and he gave joy to the residents of Vṛndāvana. So once again in the Purport it's mentioned that Krishna gave special attention to Nanda and Yaśodā. So Nanda Maharaj, he was the first one to meet Uddhava when Uddhava traveled there. And he spent the whole night with Nanda Maharaj. And he also spent time during the months and months with both of them, Nanda and Yaśodā. Nanda and Yaśodā have such a deep, loving relationship with Krishna and Vatsalya Ras. And one of the main Leelas, one of my favorite Leelas, and I'm sure it's one of the favorites of all of you, is that of the Damodar Leela. Haribol. Damodar Leela ki jai. So in just a few minutes I'm going to try to recite just very briefly Damodar Leela. It's coming up, is it tomorrow or the day after tomorrow? Not sure either. I see some calendars it's tomorrow and some calendars day after. We know it's close. And hopefully by hearing the Leela, it'll be more close. So please, let us try to enter into rapt attention and concentration and try to visualize the Leela of Sri Sri Yaśodā and Damodar. One morning, Krishna was lying in bed and Mother Yaśodā was in the room next door in Nanda Maharaj's palace. She was busy churning the yogurt into butter. She had bangles on her arms and they were going back and forth and making a very musical sound. Ching, 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 ching. As she was churning the yogurt into butter, she was singing songs about Krishna. Katayantas cham, mam nicham. Krishna says, my devotees are always singing about me. So she was singing sweet songs, remembering Krishna and churning the yogurt. Krishna in the next room woke up hearing the sound of Mother Yaśodā singing. And he woke up hungry for his mother's love. He climbed out of bed and climbed down onto the floor, crawled into the next room where Mother Yaśodā was churning the butter, and he grabbed the churning rod to stop her from churning so she would give her attention to him. And she was very pleased that her young, small Gopal was so intelligent that she grabbed a rod. Just like this rod here. Yes, she grabbed the rod, stopped it from churning, and Mother Yaśodā very blissfully, he was pulling on her sari, he wanted to drink her milk. So Mother Yaśodā lifted him up, put him on her lap, and began to feed him her breast milk. He was so happy. He was smiling at her with his little bimba fruit teeth, and she was smiling at him. And it was such a wonderful moment of bliss. And all of a sudden, the milk that was boiling on the stove in the kitchen began to boil over, and it began to make a big sound. And Mother Yaśodā, hearing that sound, put Krishna down and went running to try to save the milk. Why did she put Krishna down? Because sometimes devotees, they have to make decisions. What is the priority? Feeding Krishna is important, and saving the milk is also important, especially because that milk is meant for Krishna's service. It's meant for Krishna's pleasure. So she said, let me put Krishna down for now. I'll come back and continue feeding him later. She put Krishna down, went running into the kitchen, saved the milk. At this time, Krishna became angry and bit his lip in anger. And then he took a stone and he broke the pot, and the pot smashed into pieces. Butter went all over the place. And Krishna, thank you, Krishna began to eat the butter. He was enjoying it so much. And then he was thinking that, let me also share this butter with my friends. Who are Krishna's friends? Monkeys. He went out into the next room in the courtyard. There was the udkal, the grinding mortar. He climbed up. He began feeding the makhan, the butter, to the monkeys. The monkeys all came around, and they were very, very happy to receive that makhan from Krishna. They were so happy. They were just so joyful. So Krishna is feeding the monkeys, everyone's happy, and then all of a sudden, Mother Yaśodā comes back from the kitchen and comes into the place where she was churning the makhan, and she sees the broken pot, and she's saying, what happened? What happened here? And then she saw little butter footprints, Krishna's footprints in butter. And she could understand that this is Krishna's work. So she got a whipping stick, which is called a chadi. She got a chadi, a whipping stick, and began very carefully following those footprints. Very carefully, slowly, slowly. And she saw Krishna feeding the monkeys in the distance. And she got closer and closer and closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. And all of a sudden, the monkeys saw Mother Yaśodā, and they screamed, and they ran, the monkeys ran. And the Mother Yaśodā saw Krishna. Krishna saw Mother Yaśodā with the whipping stick, and Krishna jumped down from the grinding mortar and began to run very, very fast. And Krishna's running in the front, and Mother Yaśodā is chasing him, running behind with her big hips, big body, and the flowers are falling from her, and they're running all over Gokula. And the residents of Gokula are getting so much pleasure, so much enjoyment from seeing this pastime. So beautiful, seeing Krishna running from Mother Yaśodā. Now, even the greatest yogis cannot catch Krishna. But bhaktyamam abhijananti yavanyaschasmi tattvataha tatomam tattvatog yatva vishate tadanantaram. That Krishna says that as you surrender unto me, I will reward you accordingly. So Mother Yaśodā, out of her intense desire to catch Krishna, out of love for him, Krishna allowed Mother Yaśodā to catch him. Haribo! So Mother Yaśodā caught Krishna, and she had the whipping stick. Krishna's crying tears, the cudgel, black cudgel around his eyes are going down his face. He's breathing very rapidly. He's saying, please, Mother, please leave the whipping stick. Please leave it. I promise I'll never do it again. I promise. And then he was so afraid that Mother Yaśodā, she put down the whipping stick. But she needed to punish Krishna somehow. And also she was afraid that maybe he would run away out of so much fear and be in trouble from the monkeys. Maybe the monkeys or something bad would happen to him. So she decided to tie him up. She got a rope and she brought that grinding mortar and she put Krishna next to the grinding mortar and she began to tie him up. But then she saw the rope was 2 inches too short, 2 fingers too short. So she got another rope, tied them together, and then again tried to tie Krishna. Again the rope was 2 fingers too short. One more rope, again 2 fingers too short. What's happening? This is like a miracle going on here. She called all of her friends, come, come, please bring ropes, bring ropes. And all of her friends were bringing ropes from their homes. Now in Braj, the ropes are used to tie up the cows. So on this day, all the cows were free. Haribo! They're very happy cows. The cows were in ecstasy. So all the ropes were brought. They were all tied together. And they again tried to tie Krishna. Now, one interesting purport I heard from His Grace Ayendra Prabhu is that Mother Yaśodā didn't want to just engage in serving Krishna alone. She wanted to engage everyone. She wanted to engage all of her friends. So this is the meaning of Sankirtan. Not that we should just try to serve Krishna alone in bhajan, but we should give the opportunities to serve Krishna to others. So this is Sankirtan. This is what the real meaning of going out and chanting together, the mood of Mother Yaśodā, engage everyone in Krishna's service. So therefore, congregationally, we loudly chant the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So all these big long ropes are there, and Mother Yaśodā is trying to tie up Krishna. And then it's so difficult. But then again, Krishna saw Mother Yaśodā perspiring, fatigued, tired, endeavoring. Then out of love for Mother Yaśodā, Krishna allowed Mother Yaśodā to tie him up. Haribo! Shri Shri Yaśodā Damodar ki jai. So Damo means rope and Udar means stomach. So one who's tied around the stomach by the rope, he is Damodar. One time Srila Prabhupada went on the Sankirtan bus with Vishnu Swami and other devotees in America. They had a deity of Radha and Krishna, and they had to tie the deity in the bus. So the bus, when it's shaking around, the deities would not fall. So then Prabhupada was asked to give the name to the deity. And Prabhupada named the deity Shri Shri Radha Damodar. So this is, that bus party became the Shri Shri Radha Damodar bus party. And many of our exalted senior Vaishnavas, unfortunately there are not many of them, we wish there were more, and attended that bus party. Anyone here went on a bus party? Okay, we met them when we were traveling. You were doing traveling Sankirtan and met them at different junctures, like where Prabhupada was giving programs and this kind of thing. Yeah, Shruti Prabhu. Excuse me? You came with them when they went to Laguna Beach. They came to Coral Gables Temple. You were there. Jai Ho, Prita Prabhu. They came to Detroit Temple. Wait a second, can we get a mic?
Our new master said, you come with us, otherwise you go to heaven. and so I called the leader, forgot his name, and said, you got to get out of here really fast.
Okay.
You know, so then that.
So there were plus points and also points of concern.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, Yadubar Prabhu.
We all had some connection actually. I rode on the bus with Prabhupada to Vṛndāvana.
Wow.
And there's a film of that, you can see Prabhupada. Actually, they're chanting Hare Krishna on the way. Wonderful time. So yeah, we all had connection.
Yes.
Was it ecstatic?
Of course.
Haribo. Jai Ho, Prabhuji. Yeah, see, all of us, right, have some connection.
I remember Mr. John Swami, he actually, there's a famous picture where there was a chanting party on Golden Gate Bridge, and he came from...
Speak like, turn the mic like towards your mouth.
Mr. John came from Marin County side, and SF chanting party came from San Francisco side, and they met in the middle, Golden Gate Bridge.
Wow, there's two chanting parties coming from different parts of San Francisco, California area.
Well, the
Northern
was Marin County.
Marin County.
And San Francisco.
And San Francisco. And they met?
In the middle.
In the middle. Where was the middle?
In the middle of the bridge.
In the middle of the bridge, the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah.
Haribo.
And I also remember I was part of SF, but we were on
San Francisco.
We were on traveling Sankirtan party, and we used to
On the traveling Sankirtan.
Swami a lot. And one time he took Radha Damodar into a bar in Miami.
He took Radha Damodar into a bar in Miami.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
These are really like the intimate pastimes of Sri Sri Radha Damodar, spreading the love of Godhead to the most fallen.
actually, I go to the bar too.
You got what?
I go to the bars.
You go into the bars?
Cards.
Oh, you got cards.
One most popular card is God's cell phone number.
God's cell phone number.
Yeah.
Is it a USA or an India number?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
People people say, like, they get a card and one man said, "I've got God's cell phone number." He held out to everyone in the bar was here.
Wow. I also went into a bar one time with Ram Roy Prabhu in New York. There was a big, all the electricity went out in New York City for 3 days. So people were just congregating in the bars with candlelight. So we were going bar to bar and doing Harinam Sankirtan in all the bars. And people were giving nice donations. And Ram Roy said, "Maybe we should do this every night." And he said, "No, it's not a good idea." But yeah, it's the mood of Lord Nityananda spreading the mercy. So coming back to the connection with Radha Damodar. Damodar is so intimate with Mother Yaśodā. Mother Yaśodā tied him up. And the 2 fingers represent, first finger, the endeavor of the devotee. The devotee has to endeavor to accomplish anything. And the second finger represents the mercy of Krishna. So the mercy of Krishna is required for everything. So bhakti ki prayas, or the endeavor of the devotee, Bhagavan ki kripa, the mercy of Krishna. This is required for any endeavor. So whether we're doing book distribution, whether we're a mother trying to raise our children in Krishna consciousness, whether we're going out for Harinam Sankirtan, trying to cook a preparation without burning it, whether we're a pujari trying to dress Krishna nicely, whether we're trying to make a film about Krishna, whether we're trying to help new people come to Krishna consciousness, we need to do these 2 things. We need to endeavor and we need the mercy of Krishna. So this is the wonderful pastime of Damodar Lila, and we see it's touched all of us in so many ways. And I'll stop speaking in a very short while and give others a chance to speak and share more if they like. And I just want to bring it back to Bhagavatam, that here we're hearing about Uddhava's merciful nature, because Uddhava is acting on the order of Krishna to go for months and months and give his association to the residents of Vṛndāvana. And by his association, by hearing and speaking the topics of Krishna, Krishna-kathāṁ, of kṛṣṇa-līlā-kathāṁ gāyan, by chanting the Krishna-līlā, then ramayām asa gokulam, the residents of Gokula are getting great pleasure. And just to give you a quick preview, in the upcoming verses, we're going to hear a beautiful verse about Uddhava's realization of having associated with the residents of Vraj. And this realization is that he wishes to take birth in Gokula as a blade of grass, so that he can get the dust of the lotus feet of the residents of Vṛndāvana on his head. So I'm going to stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Very good. We'll take questions when the bell stops ringing. I have questions and comments, if I may. Yeah? 5 minutes or so? Okay, very much. Very nice. I can't hear you while the bell is ringing. You could come here and talk to me if you want. Please come a little closer. I'm grateful to you for your enthusiasm in asking your question. Thank you so much. Yes, Prabhu. Here's a mic.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. My name is Suraj Shankar Purankar. I am from Goa. I was born in Goa, 22 June 1978. I worship Lord Krishna. 45 years I am worshipping Lord Krishna. Every day I wish Lord Krishna. I do puja at my home. Not only Krishna, I pray for Lord Shankar, Lord Ganesha, Lord Hanumanji. Okay. I want to ask also that if Krishna is in this world, where he is and what is his place, I want to meet. So I want to just visit him.
Thank you for your question. If I understand your question properly, you're asking where is Krishna in this world today? So it is said that Krishna descends in the age of Kali, Kaler Doshanadhe Rajan Asti Hyeko Mahan Gunan Kirtana Deva Krishna Sya Mukta Sangam Param Rajet. That in this age of Kali, Krishna descends in the form of his holy name. So if we chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, then we associate with Krishna. Does that answer your question? Thank you so much. Yes, Pritu Prabhu. Here, please give him the microphone.
Very nice how you explained the two fingers. There's a story, short story, that Prabhupada, how to use this in action, this principle. Devotees in Boston, they had absolutely hardly any money. So whatever the money they had, they decorated the temple, the altar, were beautiful Sony flowers. They sent Prabhupada a picture. And Prabhupada messaged them and said, how do you have so much money that you can decorate the deity like this? And Prabhupada, we don't have money. He said, then what? We took every money we have, decorate the deities, and now Krishna has to take care of us. Because they gave all the money to him. And Prabhupada wrote back, he said, the idea to depend on Krishna is very nice. But we have to do the work, and then Krishna will show us mercy. This is exactly illustrating this point that you made.
Thank you. Thank you, Pritu Prabhu. We have to just see if someone else is ready first. We have to do the work, and then Krishna will do the rest.
Yeah.
God helps those that help themselves. Right. Yes, thank you for sharing the nectarian point. Does anyone else have any comments or questions before we conclude? Yes, Prabhu, in the back there.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much for the lecture. I'm just wondering, what is the difference between between the gopīs and Yaśodā and Nanda Maharaj? They could speak about kṛṣṇa-kāthāṁ all the time, but when the Uddhava came to Vṛndāvana, it was so nourishing for them. So what is the difference between their kṛṣṇa-kāthāṁ? Because they certainly had a lot of experiences with Krishna. They could talk all the time, but then he came, then it was so nourishing for them. So what's the difference?
Yeah, so thank you for your question. If I understand your question properly, you're asking what was special about Uddhava's katha, about Uddhava's discussions about Krishna that caused the lamentation to go in the hearts of Nanda Maharaj, Yaśodā Maharaj, and the gopīs. Nanda Maharaj, Yaśodā Maharaj, Mai, and gopīs are also speaking about Krishna. Why they didn't get so much joy, why they needed the input from Uddhava. So this is a very nice question. Thank you for sharing. One thought comes to my mind that whenever there's a topic related to Krishna, then the Lila Shakti, the concept of Lila comes into the picture. So why does something happen? It's to facilitate the Lila of Krishna. So because there is so much lamentation and vipralamba and separation and Nanda Yaśodā and gopīs, and Krishna took this opportunity to express his love for his devotees by sending Uddhava to them. So this is a sign that shows Krishna's love for us, that Krishna will send help. As we see when we're in difficult situation in this material world, Krishna sends devotees. And devotees will give us a book, or devotees will give us prasadam, or devotees will give us the holy name, or devotees will say, come, come, visit the temple, come for the Sunday festival. So this is the compassion of Krishna, and devotees expressing Krishna's compassion. So this is the essence of the Leela. So then also, by having Uddhava come, we got these two wonderful chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 46 and 47, which is giving us romantica, pleasure, even today. So these are two factors that would explain why Uddhava came to give this wonderful, consoling, joyful talks about Krishna to the suffering Nanda, Yaśodā, and the gopīs. Is that okay? Is that okay answer? Yes, and we have further. Mataji, you want to add to this point? You have a question. You have another question. Yeah, Mataji has a question. Please be patient. After the class we can meet. Okay? Yeah. Kripaya aram se.
Thank you so much for your wonderful class. I want to ask about Uddhava, because he was sent to Vṛndāvana also for enlightenment, because though he was a liberated soul, his level of prema was not so advanced as the prema level that the gopīs and Nanda and Yaśodā have. Could you explain what is the difference of this type of different prema levels?
Well, I think this topic is maybe beyond my adhikar, but I can explain. She's asking that, what is the difference in the prema, in the love of Uddhava for Krishna versus the love of Nanda and Yaśodā and the gopīs? They were on a higher level. So what is it made their love on the higher level than Uddhava?
I think also Krishna sent him to see that.
Yes. You're also bringing the point. What did Uddhava learn by coming to Vṛndāvana? And as we mentioned before, his ultimate realization was that he wanted to take birth as a blade of grass in Vṛndāvana, to take the dust of the lotus feet of the gopīs and Nanda and Yaśodā, the residents of Vraj. So yes, Uddhava learned. It was a learning experience. This was loving exchange between Krishna and Uddhava, so that Uddhava could develop his bhakti also. So gopīs, we understand that their level of devotion is just totally sold out, 100%, no personal considerations. Like we hear Prabhupada tell the story, the gopīs heard that Krishna had a headache. Oh, Krishna had a headache. So what is the cure? Dust from the feet of devotees. So no one was willing to give dust. Finally, Narada went to the gopīs, said, please give dust. Gopi said, take. Narada said, you go to hell. Gopi said, we don't care. So this is the highest level of selfless love that we see from the gopīs. So like I said earlier, and I'm glad you brought this up, this is a very nice point, how Krishna is teaching Uddhava to help him advance in devotional service. And like also I said, I feel I don't have the adhikar to give you the full picture. Maybe some of our other exalted Vaishnavas would like to say something to conclude. No, I'm getting the hook. We're just happy to be here. Thank you all again for your kind attention and joining us today. Shri Shri Radha Damodar ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo.
Where can I find that verse, that we have to do our best, Krishna does the rest, with the two fingers. If the mercy is coming, we act accordingly.
I'll have to find it for you.